because we wanted to reduce the defect. We wanted to, reduce the waste. So cost of poor quality. So generally, any company, there will be a cost of poor quality. There will be a cost of poor quality. It might range, and it might differ from product to product, service to service, and company to company. So generally, we think 5 to 10% of the revenue is lost in the form of cost of poor quality. There are defects. If you ask somebody what is the defect percentage, they say no, it's about 8%, 10%. That means 10% of the revenue is lost in the form of cost of poor quality. All of you agree with me? Is it a nominal range, right? 5 to 10%. And now look at my slide. Do you all of you are able to see the iceberg in my slide? Is it visible? Yes.
Yes.
Iceberg is visible. So this is actually what you see is only the visible portion of the iceberg. That means there is also invisible portion. Am I right? Visible portion you are seeing, but invisible portion you are not seeing. Why are you not able to see the invisible portion? Because
water is covered.
Right. So similarly, cost of poor quality also, if you think it is 5 to 10%, it is only the visible portion of the cost of poor quality. You are accounting it. And so you realize that it is 10%. But what you are not accounting it, that is called invisible portion of cost of poor quality. I hope all of you will agree with me. Definitely it will be there in any organization. Why it is invisible in your company? Lack of, maybe lack of, they are not aware that, so many forms of waste exist. They are not aware that, this should be considered as a defect. And another big reason is inventory. When you have more, always, you will not understand the opportunity for improvement. For example, imagine you have a lot of money in your bank account. Do you think you will attend this kind of training program and then, try to grow further? No. More, you will simply think about enjoying the money. Same way, when you have more resources in your company, these improvement opportunities will not be visible. So one big reason why many of the problems are not visible is having excess resources. If you have excess resources, what is that called? What is that waste called? If you have excess resources, what do you call it? Can somebody help me with the proper term? Excess resource is called what? Inventory. Am I right? Inventory. Anything you have in excess, you have to store. And anything you store, that is called inventory. Like here, the water is making the iceberg invisible. Same way, it is the inventory which is making most of the problems invisible in any company. Any resource, don't have it more than its requirement. That's called just in time, right? So the visible portion generally contributes to 4 to 5% of the revenue or 4 to 5% of the sales. These are visible and these are tangible. These are nothing but the rejections, warranty claims, the repair works, the reworks, and product recalls. These are all, we can easily account it. We can write it in the ledger. This much is the loss. You can see it in the balance sheet. However, now I remove the the water here. Now you can see the full iceberg. Now tell me which portion of the iceberg is bigger in size, the visible portion or the invisible portion?
Invisible.
Invisible portion.
Similarly, problems also. The cost of poor quality also. The invisible portion will be much more in magnitude than what you are seeing currently, right? When you account the invisible portion also, you will realize you are simply burning out 20 to 45% of the revenue. What is your profit? Profit is 8%. But how much we are burning in the form of cost of poor quality? 20 to 45%. What are these things? The lost opportunities. Right? There are many things we don't account it properly. So now I can help you by listing few of them. Are you familiar with all these things? You can just go through and then let me know if you have difficulty in understanding anything. If you already know, that's well and good. Is there anything I can help you with?
Partially we know, but 50% we don't know.
Okay, you can ask me two terms out of it. Any two kind of laws you want to understand. Anybody you can figure out that which is difficult or which you.
Lost OEE.
Okay, all right. So
The premium shipment. I don't.
very good. So I'll talk about those two things. Anyway, you will be learning everything in the full program. So OE,
Failure
come again.
failure resolving time, sir.
All right, right. So first one, OE, overall equipment effectiveness. I purchased a resource, maybe a big machinery, costing, few $1 million or costing few crore rupees. But no, now the resource I purchased, but I don't use it effectively. I don't use it. In a month, hardly I use it for 10 days. Now tell me, are you effectively using the resource? No, the effectiveness is not there. So the first thing you need to understand is the availability of the machine for productive work. The machine should be available for productive work. When you have 100 hours, all 100 hours, the machine should be utilized for productive hours. This is called availability. Sometimes we take up some maintenance work, or sometimes for some reason we don't run the machine. So that means the machine is available only for certain period of time for the productive work. So we need to measure that. And then number two, performance. What is performance? The production schedule is 1,000 units every single shift. But actually when I run the machine, instead of producing 1,000, I produce only 800. I produce only 800. That means my production loss is how much? 20%. There is production loss, or you call it performance loss. And now how many you produced? You produced 800. And then there is a quality checking. Somebody checks the quality of the 800 units, and then they realize that 30% of what you produce has some defects. So I have to reject it. So what is 30% of 800? 240 gone. So how many is remaining? Only 560. Clear? So there is availability and there is performance and then there is quality. When you have 100 hours, 10% of the time is lost in maintenance. 10% of the time is lost in maintenance, or 10% of the time is lost in setup, something. So 90% is the availability. That means you have 100 hours, only 90 hours the machine can be utilized for productive work. So the availability index is 0.9. Do you understand what is availability index? Clear? I need yes.
Sir, can you repeat it, sir?
I have 100 hours. Out of the 100 hours, 10 hours are utilized for some maintenance activity in the machine. Something I am doing because of which I cannot use the machine for productive work. What is productive work? The machine will produce products. But 10% of the time, I am doing some maintenance work, some oiling, some lubrication, some kind of tightening, something I need to do. So the availability of the machine is only 90%. Got it?
Yes.
So availability index is 0.9. Now multiply the 0.9 by performance index. What is performance index? Every shift, it is supposed to produce 1,000 units. That is the plan. But what is actually happening? It is producing only 800. I don't know why there is a shortage of 200. The theoretical output is 1,000, but actual output is 800. Now, what is the performance index? 0.8. Clear? Performance index is 0.8. Am I right or not?
Yeah, right.
Very good. Somebody should Tell me whether you are able to understand or not. And then the third component, quality. Out of the 800, 240 are wasted. 240 are no defective. Only 560 is okay. That means my quality index is 560 out of 800. That means only 70%. Am I right? Quality index is 0.7. So what is my availability index? 0.9. Performance index 0.8. Quality index 0.7. You multiply all the three and somebody tell me what is the number you are getting. 0.9 into 0.8 into 0.7. Somebody is doing it. 0.9 into 0.8 into 0.7.
0.392.
Really? Are you correct? I think it should be somewhere around 0.5. Let me also check it.
Sorry. Yes.
0.9, 0.8.
Sir, it's 0.504.
0.04. That means the overall equipment effectiveness is 50.4%. Now there is enormous scope for improvement. What is required? The OEE should be close to 100%. This is how you need to maintain your equipments. You need to maintain your machinery. You need to maintain your entire plant, any form of resource. OEE should be close to 100%. Clear? Every single minute, every resource should be available for productive work. If that is not happening, your company is incurring a loss. All right? And then performance, the delivery should be as per the potential. The delivery should be as per the potential. Potential is there, but delivery is not happening. That's called performance. Now delivery is happening and the delivery should be effective. What is effective? Produce 800. All 800 should be accepted by the customer. So all three are important. So OEE is product of all the three index. Maintaining, getting an OEE of 80%, 90% or close to 100% is not that easy. See, these kind of metrics will make you think, are you lagging? All right. So that's about OEE. And somebody asked about, what is that? Premium shipment. What is premium shipment? Let's say, somebody purchased your product and your product has, some warranty period or something. Or right after the purchase, the customer is not happy with the product. So he raise a complaint. Then what will happen? Now you have to handle all the failure, isn't it? Because it's a brand new product, but it has some defects or otherwise it fails within the warranty period. Now you have to replace it. Now the time you are spending to resolve these kind of problems is called resolving time. Am I right? Do you think your customer will pay for these kind of activities also? You purchased a refrigerator and then the refrigerator doesn't work from the third day. Now executive comes from the company. He spends 2 full days and replaces certain spare. Will you happily pay for all these things? You will, in fact, you will not pay. That means failure resolving time is also a cost of poor quality. And then the premium shipment. And now people are not able to rectify the problem. Then what they will do? Your refrigerator finally doesn't work at all. They tried everything.
Replacement.
They will replace. And now again the shipment charges, who will bear? Customer or the manufacturer?
Manufacturer.
And do you think your customer can wait for about 1 month to get a new refrigerator, and till then they can manage with what is available? They will expect it on the next day. So your regular delivery mechanism may not help that moment. You have to make special arrangements. That means everything is a loss. Why all these losses are happening? Because you failed to detect the failure at your end. You supplied a defective product to your customer and now you are paying the price. Clear? So like this, everywhere there is an opportunity for improvement. There is no end for improvement. Clear?
Sir,
Sir,
one
one small
more
doubt,
thing.
sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please ask your question.
Okay, sir. Sir, actually, if you regularly we have to do PMS now, sir.
Yes, what is PMS?
Preventive maintenance for
Okay, preventive maintenance. Okay.
that here in anything you are adding, sir, that performance in which it will go, sir. Actually, it will affect.
Oh, preventive maintenance comes under appraisal.
Appraisal.
Appraisal comes under your prevention activity.
Okay.
See, any maintenance activity you are doing, for example, once in a week, the machine will be you will lubricate it, and you will top up the oil, and then you will change you will again cross check the settings, and all those things are maintenance activity. Of course, there will be daily maintenance activity, there will be weekly maintenance activity, there will be monthly activity, and all these are prevention activities. Prevention is a cost of good quality.
Okay. But if we are if we are skipping, it will affect our product, no, sir. So we cannot add in invisible losses. We can add in that.
Yeah, if you don't do maintenance, what will happen? A machine will not be available for your productive work, and then machine there will be repairs happening, and repair is clearly you see here cost of poor quality.
Okay. Okay.
So
Sir, one more thing.
yes,
Motion.
Motion waste.
Yeah, it's a waste.
Yes, motion is a waste. See, you need to get into every detail. Yesterday, somebody asked, sir, what's the difference between ISO and Six Sigma? ISO, it's a system level view, that's all. But this is micro level. If you make your people move excessively, Lean will call it as waste. Am I right? If you make your people move excessively, perform a small activity, doing the activity is important. But why do you want your people to move excessively? Making your people moving excessively, do you think it will be helpful to your organization? So, can you find a way by which people have to move only to the bare minimum? It could be storage of some material, or it could be retrieval of some material, or operating the machine, because they will be doing several thousand times in a year that activity. Am I right? You are operating. If somebody is operating a machine, and if you make them move heavily, what will happen? They'll get tired very quickly, and then that will cause a lot of other problems. Whether you are making people to move excessively, or if the machine itself is moving excessively. For example, you all know the shaping machine, right? The shaper arm will move up and down, will be forward and backward. The forward movement required is, let's say 50 mm forward movement is required and 50 mm reverse movement is required. But somebody set the machine in such a way that it will move 500 mm forward and 500 mm backward. Can you now understand the excessive movement is a waste? Am I right or not? The machine has to move 50 mm, but somebody set the machine in such a way that it will move 500 mm. 450 mm forward and 450 mm backward, both are waste. And how many times the machine will move in a day, in an hour, in a day, in a month, and who will pay for it? And moreover, that excessive movement will take excess time. Am I correct? Small things have to be given importance. A mistake is definitely a mistake. A wrong is definitely a wrong. Correct? Sir, no?
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Then if everybody says no, it is correct. But if you understand that the way they are doing the work is wrong, you must boldly call it wrong. That is called lean thinking. That is called lean thinking. Small things. Anything that doesn't add value, right, is called. See, for example, by attending all this training program, today's training program online, all of us have eliminated one waste. You know what is that waste?
Traveling.
That is there. Very good.
Traveling, sir.
Traveling. Fantastic. None of us moved from our place. You see, Patrice is up, attending the program right from his house in Cameroon. All right. Similarly, we are all from different cities, but we could comfortably learn here. Otherwise, what happened? We all will travel and then assemble in a hotel. We pay for the hotel and pay for the food. There are excessive money spent. So transportation is another waste. Transportation is different from motion. Transportation is, moving your material, or I would say transporting your material within the factory or outside the factory. For example, whatever you produce, you take it to warehouse. And then whatever you store it in warehouse, and then again you bring it to the shop floor for assembly. Some kind of things, right? So don't transport your material excessively, either within the factory or outside the factory, and all of them are waste. You must have an eye to visualize all these waste. If you don't have an eye, it simply means there are a lot of hidden failures. That's why I call it, hidden portion of the cost of poor quality. Is that clear? We move on. So excessive movement